Today, I'm talking to one of you. Whether you're new to the channel or you're one of my regulars, I'm glad you found me here on Coffee with Dubs. Today, we're answering a letter from a fan, so buckle up. Morning, and welcome back to another Coffee with Dubs. You know, a couple days ago, I actually received a message from one of you viewers, from a guy named Mike. He's been watching Coffee with Dubs for a while and thanked me for being honest recently about anxiety, confidence, and the battles that we fight that nobody else sees. Then he asked me a question that kind of stayed with me. He said, "Dubs, I don't feel angry. I don't think I'm depressed. I think I'm just emotionally empty, and I can't figure out why." And I thought about Mike's message for most of the day because I don't think he's describing something unusual. I think there are a lot of people out there who just wake up, go to work, take care of responsibilities, and slowly begin to feel like they're running on fumes. Nothing dramatic's happened, yet something inside, they feel depleted. It's almost as if life keeps asking them to give without giving much back in return. The more I thought about his question, the more I realized we spend almost every day making emotional withdrawals. We give our patience to coworkers, our attention to families, our energy to work, and our focus to solving one problem after another. By the end of the day, we've invested so many pieces of ourselves into dozens of people and situations. The strange part is that we rarely stop to ask ourselves what actually restores us. Most people assume restoration comes from rest, vacations, or hobbies, and those things certainly help, but I don't think they're the only things our hearts are asking for. Human beings have always been wired for connection, not just conversation. Sometimes the smallest gestures carry the greatest emotional weight because they quietly remind us that we don't have to carry life by ourselves. I mean, think about the moments that have probably stayed with you over the years. A warm handshake from someone who genuinely was happy to see you. A hug from a family member that's going through a difficult season. A friend putting a hand on your shoulder without saying a word because they knew exactly what you were feeling. None of those moments solved the problem, yet somehow they made the problem feel lighter. What's fascinating is those gestures don't communicate information. They communicate reassurance. They tell us that we're seen, we're valued, that for a brief moment we're not standing alone. And there are entire conversations that happen without anyone speaking. And I sometimes wonder if we've forgotten how important those conversations really are. As our lives become busier, those moments seem to happen less often. We rush from one responsibility to the next, answer texts instead of knocking on someone's door, and replace time together with quick check-ins that fit into our schedules. Nobody plans for it. Life simply becomes more efficient while our relationships quietly become less personal. And I've noticed this in my own life from time to time. There's been seasons where I felt emotionally drained, and my first instinct was to figure out what was wrong with me. I assumed I wasn't managing stress well enough or that I needed to become more resilient. Looking back, I think I was asking myself the wrong questions. The better question was, what's been filling my cup lately? We spend so much time thinking about what drains us that we rarely stop to identify what restores us. If every day is another emotional withdrawal, eventually it makes sense that we'd start feeling empty. Even the strongest people eventually run out of something if they don't stop and take time to replenish it. That's why I think conversations are so important. Not conversations where we try to win, fix, or convince someone of anything. I mean honest conversations where we tell the people closest to us what helps us feel connected. We often expect the people who love us to somehow discover our needs without us ever putting those needs into words. The truth is, people aren't mind readers. They may care deeply about us while expressing care in ways we don't naturally recognize. One person feels appreciated through meaningful conversation, another through shared experiences. Someone else simply feels more connected after spending some uninterrupted time together. None of those are better than the other, but they're also not interchangeable either. I think relationships slowly became emotionally tired, not because love disappeared, but because communication became limited to responsibilities. Conversations become about schedules, errands, work, and tomorrow's plans while the deeper questions quietly disappear. Somewhere along the way, we stop asking each other, what helps you feel connected to me? And we simply assume everything is fine because nobody's arguing. So Mike, if you're watching this, I don't think your question was really about feeling empty. I think it was about trying to understand what your heart's been missing. Those are two very different questions, and only one of them leads toward an answer. Sometimes what we're searching for isn't another solution. Sometimes it's simply a reminder that we belong somewhere. I think all of us should have that conversation with the people we care about, not because something's broken, but because healthy relationships deserve maintenance before they need repair. Ask your people, what helps you feel connected? And don't be afraid to answer that question honestly yourself. You may discover that something you've been missing quietly has been waiting for you on the other side of a simple conversation all along. Thanks for joining me for another pour on Coffee with Dubs. Until next time, don't underestimate the quiet ways we remind each other that we're loved. Sometimes the smallest gestures carry the greatest weight because they say something words never could. I'll see you tomorrow, because I'm out of here.